Edinburgh is a city steeped in stories, from fascinating folklore to ancient myth. Just take a walk around the city and you'll find an abundance of unicorns adorning the architecture. You'll not be short of ghost stories either. And in this quiet graveyard, you'll discover the inspiration for Lord Voldemort and Professor McGonagall. There's the monument to the heartwarming story of Greyfriars Bobby, who stood guard at his owner's grave for 14 years after his death, or the lone piper who haunts the Royal Mile. And our very own volcano has links to the dragons and the knights of King Arthur. Edinburgh, the story never ends. Come find the magic. Edinburgh is the UK's greenest city. Not that we want to make everyone green with envy. There's a space here for everyone, from high escapes to cosy glens, from secret gardens to old railway paths. There's beaches to comb and parks to play in, hills to climb and adventures to begin. Discover panoramic city views as you climb Edinburgh's extinct volcano. Edinburgh's a city for walkers, hikers, bikers, runners, thinkers, ramblers. Discover a new path today. Edinburgh, the story never ends. Edinburgh is a city shaped by water. You can follow the waters from the Pentland Hills right through the city to the Firth of Forth. There's beaches and bridges and boats to see. There's stories to find at the Roman settlement and the old bunker on Cramond Island. Just follow the water and you'll find a story. Edinburgh, the story never ends.
A very good afternoon to you and welcome back if you were with us this morning here for session 2 of the 2023 Edinburgh International Swim Meet. We had some fantastic swims this morning to get us going and we're ready for lots more this afternoon. It's the slower heats, but that doesn't mean they're slow heats by any means. There are some extraordinarily good athletes on show for us this afternoon. There's the lineup that's coming up. So we start off with 100 metres backstroke for the women. Then the same event for the men. 200 butterfly for women, 200 freestyle for the men. The sprints today, 50 freestyle for the women, 50 butterfly for the men. Follow that with 400 freestyle for the women, 200 breaststroke for the men, followed by 100 breaststroke for the women, and we finish off the afternoon 200 individual medley for the men. I'm Duncan McKinnell. I'll be taking you through the action this afternoon, so it's going to be a good one. There's a lot of places available for junior finals in this evening's final session. There's not too many juniors swam this morning. Of course, there's also the opportunity for the senior swimmers to break their way into either the A or the B finals. Anything that happened this morning, of course, was provisional in terms of the top 16 going into tonight's finals. You'll see as you look around what an international entry we've had. Look at all those flags there from lots and lots of different countries, and fantastic to see so many making their way across to Edinburgh from all over Europe. We've got big teams from Spain, from Denmark, from the Netherlands, from Belgium, from France, from Austria, just to name a few, Ireland as well, Israel. It's just splendid to have so many top swimmers here in Edinburgh this weekend. Also, just to let you know that as well as watching here on the live stream, there's also going to be coverage on the BBC this evening, so you can catch us on the BBC Sport website or on the iPlayer. But why wouldn't you want to be with us on here on the live stream where you get all 9 sessions? You can see that the swimmers are getting themselves ready for the first event. You can see we're going to have 9 heats of the 100 metres backstroke. That's the lineup for the first heat. Relatively local lineup there with swimmers from North Ayrshire, Dundee, Bathgate, Dumfries, Swimmet, which is in West Lothian, and Warrender, and they're joined in lane 5 there, Isabel Fox from Derwentside, northeast of England. So our one non-Scot in this first heat. You can see they're all just getting through their stretches. Referee there, Bill Brash, will be one of our 2 referees that will be sorting us through. They're just making sure those backstroke ledges are properly in place, and we should be underway very shortly. Let's looking at the watch, 12:29 at the moment, due to start 12:30. Looks like we'll be all set to start on time. So as I said, 9 heats here. To get into the B final, you have to do a 63, a low 63, and to get in the juniors, well, there's 5 spots available, and if you're faster than 107, then you're pretty much guaranteed anyway. So here we go. Heat number 1 of 9 in the women's 100 backstroke. So just run through the lineup for you. We have Heather Stewart of North Ayrshire in lane 1, Isla Gilmurray, Dundee City Aquatics in 2, Lucy de Grosser from the Borders in 3, Brooke Rogerson of Dumfries in 4, Isabel Fox of Derwentside in 5, Mia McLeod of Swimmet in 6, Zara Smith of Warrender in lane 7. So that's your lineup, 2 lengths of the pool. Who's going to be first to the wall? Looks like it might be the Dundonian Isla Gilmurray, although as you can see as they come in, it's pretty close. Let's see who gets the touch. In fact, it's Mia McLeod in lane 6, just got the touch there. So a time of 34:29. Ignore that 19:39 that's on the board. There was obviously a bad touch coming in from somewhere. But still, Isla Gilmurray is in the mix there in lane 2, with Isabel Fox up there as well in lane 5 in the dark cap. So coming down towards the finish, it's those two plus the halfway winner, Mia McLeod. All three of them coming in much of a muchness here. Let's see what the time is. 1:10.48. So a nice start, a nice PB to get us going there for our winner, Mia McLeod. She was entered on 1:10.95, so knocks half a second off that. Just 300ths in it between her and Isla Gilmurray, with Isabel Fox taking third. All those three inside their entry times. And there is your lineup for heat number 2. So it looks like all 8 swimmers are there ready to go. So into the water. Entry times in this one, 1:10.2 up to 1:10.7. So in fact we have a missing lane, lane 5, so just the 7 swimmers here. And those 7 swimmers are Nadine Wilson in lane 1 for Borough of Stockton. Lucy McLeod of first, the Falkirk-based team in lane 2. Ailsa Clubb, Aberdeen Dolphin in 3. Emma Leggett of Hamilton in 4. Then in 6 it's Sarah Stewart of Margay and Bearsden. Tatenda Tayenga of Borough of Stockton in 7. And Louise Connell in lane 8 from the City of Glasgow. So again, it's pretty close as we come up to the turn. So lane 3 and 7 are probably the front runners. Ailsa Clubb 34.17, just getting the touch. 10th or so faster than the first heat. Tatenda second, Nadine third, just 300ths apart. Tatenda over in lane 7 is looking pretty strong here. She's certainly giving Ailsa Clubb a run for her money as they come down. Also going well, Lucy McLeod. Nadine Wilson's not far away in lane 1. Louise Connell over on the other side of the pool. So they're the front runners. Let's see as they come in here. Tatenda maybe in lane 7 has got the advantage, has she? No, in fact, it's the Ailsa Clubb just got it by 200ths. 1:11.20 against 1:11.22. Really tight there. And then third place, Nadine Wilson, also from Borough of Stockton, 1:11.50. Straight into heat number 3. No messing about here. That's your lineup. So these swimmers entered 1:09 to low 1:10. So fastest from the first heat still, Mia McLeod, 1:10.48. So I'd expect this to be faster. Let's see if it is. So the lineup for this one, Anna Kachenko, Ukrainian based at City of Glasgow. Zuzia Smith of first in 2. Jessica Beaton of Aberdeen Dolphin in 3. Grace Courtney of East Lothian in 4. Adea Soilaku of Daventio in 5. Eve Wood from Orkney in 6. 7 is Alex Coy of Warrender in 8. Natalie Marshall from West Lothian. Good start in lane 6 from the Orcadian Eve Wood. She's, I think, going to lead them through halfway. Eve Wood has been in good form recently. She was second at North District age groups at a 1:08.9 up in Aberdeen. That was just last weekend. And she's taking that form here down to Edinburgh. A long trip from the Orkney Isles. Not as long, obviously, as some of the Europeans. Still quite a long trip in Scottish terms. And she is making that trip very worthwhile. And she leads them down 10 metres to go. We're coming up strongly though, Natalie Marshall in lane 8, but she's not going to catch Eve. She takes the win in 1:08.81. So that was inside her time from last weekend by 900. So another very nice swim from Eve. Natalie Marshall, strong finish from her, 1:09.03. So she was a second inside her entry time. Adea Solaku taking third, 109.31. So coming up to heat number 4 now. There the swimmers are all ready to go. So the line-up for this one, Emma McGavin goes for Hamilton in lane 1. Emma Finlay of East Lothian in 2. Another from Hamilton, Kirsty Gilmore in 3. Elaine Farno goes in lane 4 for Fareham. Amber Stevenson of South Ayrshire in 5. Safrina Machin of City of Glasgow in 6. Isabella Abernethy of Aberdeen Dolphin in 7. And Rosie Liston from City of Glasgow in lane 8. 107's the high 108's the entry times here. So we'll see if they keep ratcheting up the times. 33.96. That's not as fast as Eve Wood's split. That's Emma McGavin by a 10th from Safrina Machin. Hamilton versus Glasgow. Lane 3. Kirsty Gilmore not too far away as we see them swim away from our camera. Down the pool towards the start end, and now as we change the shot we could see lane 6 Safrina Machin and lane 1 Emma McGavin. Still not much between them, and it's Emma just gets the touch. 109.44 for her. So she takes that one by a couple of tenths. Safrina Machin second, Kirsty Gilmore in third. So 4 heats done, and that's the lineup for heat number 5. So again, we've got a full poll for this one. And the line-up, Rosie Forster of Warrender in 1, Ellen Walsh from Ireland in 2, Ailey Armstrong of East Lothian in 3, Annabelle Chan of Millfield in 4, Fern Crichton, Dundee City Aquatics in 5, Holly Robinson of Repton in 6, Emma Price, Borough of Stockton in 7, and Melissa Menny of East Kilbride in 8. And a cracking start from the Irish swimmer Ellen Walsh. So she is really pushing it on, experienced internationalist. 107.32 her entry time, but I think she's going to be a long way inside that. Now, this is definitely where you start looking at the times for the B final, 103.24. Can Ellen get anywhere close to that? She's certainly well clear of the rest of the field, with lane 6 and 8, Holly Robinson and Melissa Menny battling for second. But let's see what Ellen Walsh can do here. You can see the clock just coming up to the minute. She goes into the final 5. It's going to be close. Can she do it? 102.87. She can. And that certainly should get her into the B final. I reckon that puts her about third equal in the B final at the moment. So excellent stuff from Ellen. We'll see her again tonight, I would think, unless something very surprising happens in the remaining heats. Cracking swim. Holly Robinson taking second, Melissa Menny third. So good stuff there from the Irish swimmer. Let's see what heat 6 can do. And they rise to the challenge that Ellen has just set them. So that was really good. Just shows you've got a lane, doesn't matter if you're in the afternoon or in the morning, you can earn yourself a second swim in the evening if you're fast enough. So all 8 lanes occupied here for heat number 6. the line-up, Coco Croxford of Sterling Swim in 1, then 2 from Hatfield, Jessica Keogh in 2, Charlotte Williams in 3, Kira Barber goes to the University of Bath in 4, Catherine Renfrew of Perth in 5, Zoe Crawford of First in 6, and then 2 from Edinburgh University, Faith Uder in 7, Kiana Bellotti in lane 8. So a bit more of a classic arrowhead here, with lane 4 leading the way. The University of Bath swimmer Kira Barber. So let's see what she can do. See if she can go anywhere to challenge 31.87. So that is about a second and a quarter down on the time from Ellen. But she's certainly looking set for the heat with the pink caps either side of her. And they are Charlotte Williams of Hatfield and Catherine Renfrew of Perth. So it's probably not a pink cap, actually, it's a red cap that Catherine is wearing. But it is going to be the Bath swimmer Kira Barber. See what her time is, 1:06.17. So pretty close to her entry time. Second, Catherine Renfrew, 1:06.54. And Charlotte Williams just ahead of her teammate Jessica Keogh, 1:08.01. So heat 7. We'll line up there. Lucy Lucas at Edinburgh University, Melissa Waring of West Lothian, Megan Donovan, City of Peterborough, Rebecca Peterson of Hovedstatens in Denmark, Kiana Kurtzer of Warrender, Rose Gubbins of Nova Centurion, Marie Wood, University of Aberdeen, and Ella Stevenson of City of Glasgow. That's your lineup. So off they go. This one we're looking at 1:05 entry times across the board. So let's see if anybody can go inside that. Not too much in it going down. Looks like it's the two in the centre lanes, Rebecca Peterson and Kiana Kurtzer, Hovedstatens and a Warrender respectively. Also up there in lane 6 is Rose Gubbins. In fact, it's going to be Rose turning first. 31.86 for her, pretty much the same time as we saw from Kira Barber in the previous heat. She's up by half a second from Rebecca and Kiana just a bit further back, and it is these three. Also lane 2, Melissa Waring pushing on in lane 2, but still I think is Rose Gubbins who has got the advantage. Rose, 17-year-old, so she qualifies as a junior. And certainly it would be worth looking at her time for a place in the junior final. She's certainly going to take the win, and a very nice time as well, 1:05.93. So I think they can pretty much guarantee her getting a second swim. Kiana Kurtzer, 1:06.49. She could well as well, 15-year-old from Warrender. She was in the end just 500ths ahead of Melissa Waring, who took third, 1:06.54. So I'm hearing through the grapevine that Rose Gubbins and Kiana Kurtzer will certainly be in the junior final, but we'll get confirmation of that in due course. 2 more heats to go, but not too many juniors. 3 coming up in this next heat, and then they're all seniors in the final heat. For the girls, it's 17 and under as at the end of December for qualifying as a junior, although I hear that Len are changing that rule this year. So for them, it'll be 18-year-olds for the girls. 18. So second last heat, we have Holly Marshall of Repton in 1, Ellis Shields of Edinburgh University in 2, Ellie Turner of Stirling University in 3, Belle Smith, University of Bath in 4, Kira Steriker of South Ayrshire in 5, Lottie Van Howert of Belgium in 6, Michael Fickstein of Israel in 7, and Nicole Dupre of Millfield in lane 8. Good start in lane 2, Ellis Shields, and lane 4, Bell Smith. It's going to be between those two as they turn. Let's see who gets the touch. It is Ellis, 31.72. That is slightly faster than previous heat, but still nobody's challenging Ellen Walsh's time. So let's see if they can in this second half. It's pretty tight here. Lottie and Maital in lane 6 and 7 are right in the mix there, with Bell in lane 4 and Ellis in lane 2. So they're the four coming in, and the touch goes to Ellis. 1:05.55 for the Edinburgh University swimmer. So she is not a junior, so I don't think that will get her a second swim, but a nice win for Ellis. Bell Smith taking second. Lottie Van Howert in third. So final heat, there's your lineup. Scarlett Ferris, Florence Tinsley, both from the University of Stirling. Amy Shields, we just saw Ellis swim earlier. Younger sister Amy going in this one for City of Glasgow. Jemima Hall in lane 4 for University of Bath. Natasha Whittle, Loughborough in 5. 6 is Martina Manresa Malberti of Spain. Carla Melhanu, Villefranche in France in 7. Hannah Willis, City of Peterborough in lane 8. So I mentioned all these swimmers seniors, so 1:03.24. Interestingly, joint 15th before was 1:03.24 with the faster swim from Ellen Walsh. That means potentially we'll get a swim off this evening, unless somebody here can go faster than that. So let's see if they can. Lanes 4 and 5, Jemima Hall and Natasha Whittle look like the ones who are challenging. I think it's going to be Natasha turning first, also going well. Florence Tinsley in lane 2. In fact, she's in second behind Natasha's 30.83, and this is closer to Ellen Walsh's time, only 2 or 3 tenths behind. So, well, we've got 3 of them fairly close here, but particularly Jemima Hall in 4, just behind Natasha Whittle in 5. So let's see what sort of time we can get from these two. 1:03.24. If they're faster than that, they're in the B final. It's going to be mighty close here in lane 5. Natasha Whittle, oh, just outside that time, 1:03.53. So a good effort there, inside her entry time by over half a second. Jemima Hall pushed her all the way, 1:04.13. She's also just inside her entry time, with Hannah Willis taking third in 1:04.85, pretty close to her entry time as well. So some really good backstrokes there, and I think star of the show definitely Ellen Walsh there, getting her place in the B final. So the question is, what will we see for the men's 100 backstroke? We've got 6 heats in this one. There you can see 4 swimmers lined up for heat number 1. Those 4 swimmers are Keane Smith, City of Glasgow, that distinctive white G on the blue cap. In lane 3, Robbie Carlyle of Hamilton, equally distinguishable hat there with the big HB. David Lamb, City of Glasgow in 5, and Reuben Kelly of Dumfries in lane 6. So all Western Scotland affair here. 2 from Glasgow, 1 from Hamilton, 1 from Dumfries. Entry times here 1:03 to 1:04. So again, 2 lengths of the pool. Setting off pretty even. Keane Smith looking pretty handy at the bottom of your screen. Is he going to turn first? He's certainly looking that way at the moment. As he comes up towards the turn, he's opened himself up a lead of about a metre. Goes through 31.11. So Keane with an entry time of 1:03.9. Good turn there in lane 5 from David Lambman, and Robbie Carlyle is still very much in the mix as well. So these three, I think, seeing off the Dumfries challenge, but still it is Keane Smith, I think, who's got the edge in lane 3. Under pressure from Robbie. Who's going to take the touch? It is Keane. 1:05.15 for him. 1:05.23 for Robbie. David Lambman in third, 1:05.79. So just 800ths in it in the end, but Robbie, or I should say Keane Smith, with that really fast first 50. Won it for him and was able to hold on to that lead in the second half. As you line up for heat number 2, just getting themselves ready. Line up here, Sean Side Griffiths of Warrender in 1. Orlando Deering of City of Peterborough in 2. Kyle Mitchell of Geary in 3. 4 is Joseph Edgar of Derwentside. 5, Dylan Cashmore of South Ayrshire. Robbie Boyd of Warrender in 6. 7 is Matthew McMillan of Incas. And 8, Oscar Just of Ferrum. Good start from Robbie Boyd in lane 6. Position here is we did have 8 juniors in this morning's events, the slowest of whom, and the 8th fastest at the moment, 59.78. So that would be the time that they'd have to beat to get a second swim, if you're a junior, that is. And certainly Robbie Boyd is making a big, strong statement here. The yellow cap, Kyle Mitchell of Geary, behind him in second place. He was a silver medalist at North District age groups last weekend. But this is going to be the Warrender swimmer taking it very comfortably indeed. 1:02.10. So that's a nice swim from Robbie, half a second inside his entry time. So showing good progression there. And the line up there for you in heat number 3. I mentioned the 59.78 that you'd have to achieve to progress in the junior final. The time for the seniors, 57.13 to get into the B final. That will be a stretch, I think. Not got anybody with an entry time particularly close to that this afternoon. But you never know. So the line up in heat 3, Jack Docherty-Simpson of Scotia in lane 1, Robbie Thompson of Shetland in 2, Scott Mitchell of Glenrothes in 3, Finlay Wright of University of Bath in 4, Fraser Wilson, University of Aberdeen in 5, Ethan Stewart of Hamilton in 6, Jack Simpson of East Kilbride in 7, and Isaac Buchan from the Borough of Stockton in lane 8. Well, not a lot in it here at the turn. All of them just about, well, you can see about 7/10 between first and 8th. Leader Jack Docherty-Simpson going through 30.48. And a nice turn from him in that pale green cap in lane 1 at the bottom of your screen. Scotia based in Bishopbriggs in central Scotland. And let's see if he can keep this going. Certainly looking good here. Isaac Buchan also up on the top of your screen is looking pretty handy as well. The Stockton swimmer. But it's going to be Jack first in, 1:02.23. Nice stuff from him. .1:02.69 Isaac Buchan, and 1:02.88 in third, Ethan Stewart. Three more heats to go. Of course, in the morning you've got the cycle seeded heats for the final 3 heats, but because these are continuing heats, we don't do that this afternoon. So we are strictly in time order, getting gradually faster. through each of the heats. And in these ones, it'll be 60s and 61 entry times. So the lineup here: Edward Bell of Seagulls in 1, Logan van der Merwe and Sterling Swim in 2, Jacob Schmidt of Holbeck in 3, Joseph Martin of Derwentside in 4, Owen Williamson of East Lothian in 5, Ben Twynham of Daventio in 6, Ewan Beattie of Warrender in 7, and Brendan Johnson, University of Aberdeen, in 8. Can anyone break under the minute here, I wonder? Again, we're seeing a good swim coming from lane 1. Edward Bell, the Scot, based on the south coast. Seagulls based in Christchurch down in Dorset. And he turns first, 28.83. So that's certainly the fastest halfway split we've seen by some margin. Edward, silver medalist in Scotland national age groups last year, and then he went one better to win the Scottish summer meet. Certainly coming under a bit of pressure now. I think Ben Twynham in lane 6 is right there with him. Who's going to get the touch? It is Ben, just nicking it, 1:00.32 against Edwards 1:00.49. And Logan van der Merwe third, 1:00.73. So some improvements on entry times there, certainly for our leading two. Heat 5 coming up. Got a few more juniors to come, so I think these swimmers, the juniors to come, will be fancying their chances of another swim. 6 of the 8 in this heat coming up are juniors. It's just Warrender's Finn Bremner and Stirling University's Jacob Elwell are the two 19-year-olds, so they're above the cut-off for juniors. So here we go with heat number 5. Andrew Brodie of Aberdeen Dolphin in 1. Maite Rosenfeld of Israel in 2. George Whittle of Daventio in 3. Greer van der Merwe and Stirling Swim in 4. Finn Bremner of Warrender in 5. Jacob Elwell of Stirling University in 6. Travis Davey of Dundee City Aquatics in 7. And Cameron Doran, City of Glasgow, in lane 8. So entry times here, 7 of them at least have entry times under the minute. So will we see our first sub-minute this afternoon? We got pretty close in the previous heat, 1:00.3. It's Aite Rosenfeld, the Israeli swimmer, who leads the way here. 17-year-old, so certainly will be fancying his chances for a second swim. Beside him, George Whittle is pushing on strongly in lane 3, and it's George coming through to take it, and well, 3 of them under the minute there. 59.37, the pick of the bunch from George Whittle. Entered 59.51 his time from the British Summer Championships last year, so he takes a little bit of time off that, setting himself up nicely for the rest of the long course season. So good stuff from him, good stuff from the Israeli as well, Aite Rosenfeld, and third Greer van der Merwe, all getting under the minute. One more heat to go then. Certainly we'll be seeing George Whittle again, I'm sure, in the junior final tonight. But let's see what happens in this one. We've got a couple of juniors, well, 3 juniors in fact in this one. Cameron Jemison, Mike Marda and Callum Peebles. Just run through the full lineup. Jordan McPhail of Edinburgh University goes in 1. Then it's Cameron Jemison of Repton in 2. Ben Harrison of Loughborough in 3. Mike Marda of Israel in 4. Ethan Lawton of Daventio in 5. Kevin Goldentops goes in lane 6 for Tens Schult of Belgium. Callum Peebles of East Lothian in 7. And Ryan Ferguson, Edinburgh University, in lane 8. So not too much to separate them going down the pool. Looks like Mike in lane 4 just has the edge. Kevin Goldentops also going well. So is Ethan Lawton in lane 5 and lane 2 as well. Cameron Jemison, in fact, loads of them pretty close. 28.32 is slightly faster than the previous heat. All to play for, though, down the second length. As most of the swimmers anyway, pretty competitive here, particularly on the left-hand side of your screen. Jordan McPhail looking good in the second half here in lane 1. Is it going to be his race? I think it is, from the swimmers in the centre lanes, and he comes in 58.09, and that will be just outside the 57.1 needed for place in the B final, but a good effort from Jordan there from the outside lane to take the heat. He was entered on 59.21, so that's really good progression. Ben Harrison taking second, Ethan Lawton in third. So some good stuff in the backstrokes. And now we move to butterfly for the women. We only have the 2 heats here, so we should be through this pretty quickly. In this one, there were 5 swimmers, 5 juniors swam this morning, so there's at least 3 junior places up for grabs. And the time to get into the B final for the senior swimmers, 2:22.56. Looking at the times in the second heat, not too far away from that, 3 or 4 seconds. So, well, that would be a big ask, but you never know. 5 swimmers in this first of the 2 heats, all 16-year-olds, 2 from Carnegie, and they are Zara Innes in lane 2 and Gemma Brown in 3. Carnegie based in Dunfermline, just across the Firth of Forth from where we are. Then in lane 4, Megan Donovan, the city of Peterborough. Eva Gordon of Stirling Swim goes in 5, and Georgia Dickey of Dumfries in 6. So an all-Scottish affair in this first heat, and it looks like it is Gemma Brown and Georgia Dickey turning just about together, 31.99. Gemma just getting the touch. Coming down the second length, it does look like Georgia Dickey in the white cap now is taken over the lead. About pacing across 200 butterfly, you can't go out too hard, or you'll pay for it. 1:08.78. So around 36 and change for her second 15. Leads by nearly 2 seconds now. Starting to spread out a bit. Pushing on in lane 5, Eva Gordon trying to challenge for second. Well, it's looking good for the Dumfries swimmer now, Georgia Dickey. Third in the Scottish Summer Meet last year up in Aberdeen. And she is a lead of around 5-6 meters as she turns into the final length, 1:47.93. So that was around a 39 there. So her entry time, 2:32. I think she should be nicely inside that. Let's see. Or have I got my mental maths right? Maybe not. Let's see though. Coming up towards the flags. It's a nice shot of her coming into the wall. And, around 5 meters, 2:30.32. So yes, I was right. She was inside her entry time. Doubted myself there. But 2:32.9 down to a 2:30.32. Should be happy with that. Eva Gordon taking second, Zara Innes in third. So the second heat getting ready to go. Looking through the lineup, they are all juniors. So you would think that at least 3 of them will swim again, maybe more. The lineup here: Alice Ward of Borough of Stockton in 1, Kirsty Gilmore of Hamilton in 2, Freya Beaton, City of Glasgow in 3, Madison Cool of Bucky in 4, Evie O'Halloran Hutchinson of Derwentside in 5, Zara Kravis of East Lothian in 6, and 2 more from Borough of Stockton, Becky Watson in 7, Nadine Wilson in lane 8. So Madison Cool, 31.11, leads them through the 50. Bucky Bay swimmer up on the north of Scotland, on the Murray coast. Winner last weekend at North District Age Groups, or a few weeks ago, I think. Went over to the McCullough meet in Northern Ireland, finished 5th there. And she has got herself a pretty big lead here. Certainly setting her claim for a place in the junior final. 1:07.70 is a second faster than Georgia Dickey's split. EV 1:10.62 just ahead of Kirsty Gilmore and Alice Ward. Madison Cool, member of the Scottish Youth Academy, part of the performance programme. You start off with Junior Academy, which is run locally for the youngsters and young developing swimmers. Then you move to the first national programme, the Youth Academy, and then onwards to the junior team or the Senior Academy, and culminating in the senior team for our elite athletes. So that's a journey that Madison is on. 1:46.18, she leads by 4.5 seconds now. You can see there 38.5 split for her third 50. Madison's entry time 2:26, so she's looking good for that. Let's see what she can come in on here. This has been a really impressive performance. Going well in lane 6 is the youngster Zara Kravis, but it's 2:25.86 for Madison, so she takes most of a second off her entry time. Zara 2:28.97. She also improves on her entry time by around 3/10. So we'll see whether she's made a second swim with that. I think she might have done. So good stuff from her. And Alice Ward in third, 2:30.37. So we've got 8 heats coming up next for the men's 200 freestyle. So in this one, really, if you want another swim, you have to be underneath the 2 minutes. Maybe some of the juniors could just sneak in on a 2:00. And to go into the seniors, you've got to get down to 1:52 territory. So this is extremely competitive, real quality 200 freestyle field we've had here. We saw Olympic gold and silver medalists this morning, Tom Dean and Duncan Scott. So we've got to look forward to them this evening. We've got the lineup here. Emmanuel Chiampi of Ferrum in lane 1, Jake Holmes, City of Glasgow in 2, Kane Buchanan in lane 3 for Dundee City Aquatics, lane 4, Thomas Swales of Nova Centurion, Kai Connolly goes for City of Glasgow in 5, Joshua Sacri of City of Peterborough in 6, 7 is Reuben Kelly of Dumfries, and 8, Fergus Woodward of Portobello. 27-27 the 50 split, and really strong start from Jake Holmes in lane 2. So he is setting it off very fast here. 57.58 at the 100. So just over the 30. You can see there 30.31 is second 50. Thomas, lane 2 then, Jake Holmes entered 2:04. I mentioned the academy structure. He's a member of the senior academy. The older swimmers are not quite at junior and senior team level, but still have plenty of potential to progress. Jake, one of them, he leads by 7/10 now. You can see there Thomas Wales much faster in that third 50. So Jake is going to have to push on, and it's going to get swallowed up, I think. Thomas Wales has just gone past him, and also pulling up is Emmanuel Chiampi in lane 1. Over at lane 6, Joshua Sacri as well, but it's all about Thomas Wales now, 15-year-old from Nova Centurion, British Summer Championship finalist last year, and takes this in 2:03.40. Really strong in the second half there. So he is our first heat winner in that time of 2:03.40. Confirmation of the result there, Joshua Sacri in second, Emmanuel Chiampi in third, and Jake Holmes just down in 5th place there after a strong start. So lane heat 2 there is your lineup. Looks like we've got an empty lane in lane 3. Oh no, he's there. I take it back. So Ben McLaughlin of Geary goes in 1, Tom Robertson of Aberdeen Dolphin in 2, Edward Bell of Seagulls in 3, Calvin Nice of Holbeck in 4, James Gordon of Perth in 5, in 6 rather. 7 is Max Pelosi of City of Glasgow, and Orlando Deering of City of Peterborough in 8. Did I mention Ben Kelly in lane 4? I should have done, because he's leading. 27.06. Couple of tenths faster than the previous heat for the Warrender swimmer, another senior academy member. He was the winner in the Scottish Summer Meet last year. Certainly off to a good start. Lane 5 is Calvin Nice, and lane 2, Tom Robertson. They're the nearest to him. The local swimmer, Ben Kelly, will lead them through halfway by about 1.5 meters, 57.74. Leads by nearly a second. You see there 30.6, 30.5 for Colvin, so slightly faster. Are we going to see something similar to the first heat? Doesn't look as lightly, because Ben Kelly looks to be holding that gap of nearly a body length. So we come down towards the 150, although when I say that, maybe Colvin's starting to work it down. In fact, he definitely is. Down to 1 meter now, with 50 to go. You see he was about 3-4 tenths faster in that third 50. So all to play for down this last length. Ben will have to knuckle down here, and it looks like he's doing that. He's holding that advantage. Colvin does not think he's done yet, though. He's pushing on in lane 5. Still working hard, Tom Robertson in lane 2, but it's the centre lanes who are going to decide this, and this is getting close now. Colvin maybe just edging past, and it is Calvin Nice who takes the win, the Dane from Holbeck, in 2:00.35, so he knocks 4 tenths off his entry time. Ben Kelly, 2:00.50, a couple of tenths improvement for him, and Tom Robertson in third, 2:02.52, so great finishing skills there from Colvin. He just absolutely got that right, just to go past in those last few meters and take the win. So the line-up there for heat number 3. Cedar Gullen goes in lane 1 for Warrender. Zach Slater of East Lothian in 2. Victor Darug of Ferrum in 3. John Taylor of University of Aberdeen in 4. Nathan Campbell of Stirling Swim in 5. James Burnett of Warrender in 6. Angelo Mormina of Villefranche in 7. And Greer van der Merlen, Stirling Swim in 8. Strong start from the Ferrum's Victor Darug in lane 3. That powerful long stroke. And he is going to lead through the 50, 26.92. Again, slightly faster 50 split from the previous heat. Nathan Campbell in the white cap in lane 5, turning second. So up to halfway, it looks still like it is those two, 1 and 2. Others pretty close though. Lane 7 pushing on, Angelo. In fact, he's now into second, 100th ahead of Cedar Gullen in lane 1. And still Victor, 57.26 leads the way by 3/4 of a second. So let's see whether Victor can keep this going. The main threat does look like it's coming from lane 7. The Frenchman, Angelo Mormina, and he turns first now. So 1:28.39, see that 30.3. It's quite a lot faster than the two around him. Zach Slater with a fast push there in lane 2, and he's come up from nowhere to threaten. So there's swimmers all over the place who could take the win here. Is it going to be Angelo in lane 7? I think it is, so he's maybe aware of what was going on inside him and takes the win, 1:58.79. Very nice swims there from Cedar Gullen and Zach Slater in second and third, just 200ths apart, both ducking under the 2 minutes. Certainly for both of them, probably for the first time, they entered 2:00.2 for Zhang, 2:00.3 for Cedar. So well done to them. That's almost a nice milestone. Victor also getting under the 2 minutes, 1:59.97 for him. So good racing there. Angelo Mormina, the Frenchman, taking the spoils. And certainly these swimmers now starting to challenge for places in the junior final. So still got a good number of juniors to come though. So that's going to be very competitive, I think. So on to heat number 4 now. Elias Noah of Holbeck goes in 1, Nathan Holmes of University of Bath in 2, Scott Fleming of East Kilbride in 3, Cameron Jameson of Repton in 4, Joshua Robinson of Derwentsside in 5, Findlay Club Aberdeen Dolphin in 6, Matthew Brown of University of Aberdeen in 7, and Finn Bremner of Warrender in lane 8. 26.93, Nathan Holmes leads the way. So that was pretty much the same split as the previous heat. Nathan going the blue cap in lane 2 for University of Bath. Beside him, East Kilbride's Scott Fleming. We saw a good 1500 from him this morning, so he's had a few hours to recover from that. So now moves to the 200 and turning pretty much together with Nathan. 57.38 and 57.49. You can see lane 6, Findlay Club also. They're from Aberdeen Dolphin. It's just a little bit back, and then beside him, Joshua Robinson in lane 5, the Derwentsside swimmer. So those two just tucked in behind our leading pair, with Scott Fleming now taking over the lead, 1:28.27. So that's slightly faster now than the previous heat. And Scott about 1.5 meters clear now. Looks like he's got this one under control. Don't think Nathan can live with him. Findlay Club working hard in lane 6, is maybe pushing for second now, but this is going to be Scott Fleming's race. Let's see what his time is. 1:58.48 for the 17-year-old from East Kilbride, member of the Scottish junior team, and that's a good swim there, very close to his 1:58.36 entry time. Nicely done, Scott. Findlay Club does take second. Just getting ahead of Nathan Holmes down that final length. Nathan third, 2:00.68. So we're certainly peppering the under the 2 minutes now, and we'd expect it to be under 2 minutes pretty much all the way now. And then 1:56 mainly in this next heat. The entry times. And the lineup: Cody Dunyan of Ireland in 1, Marcos Martin Berguillo of Spain in 2, Daniel Barouche of Israel in 3, Frederick Jorgensen of Ferrum in 4, Enrique Mascarenas of University of Bath in 5, Brodie Gordon-Gibson of Warrender in 6, Dennis O'Brien from Limerick National Centre in 7, and Elliot Sibley of Nova Centurion in lane 8. So it's Daniel Barouche, 26.72, leads by a couple of tenths through the first 15. So the Israeli leading the way. Going nicely in lane 6 is the local swimmer Brodie Gordon-Gibson. Lane 4 is Frederick Jorgensen. So those three all pretty close there, just 1,500 separating them through halfway, 56.30, and this is faster than we've seen by a second or so. And the three of them, we're trying to go with them. Marcos Berguillo, Martin Berguillo, the Spaniard. In fact, he is, well, pushing on, but it's, well, let's see who's going to be. Brodie just turning first, 1:26.74. Now, who has the finishing speed here? Certainly Daniel Barouche is looking good in lane 3. So he's up challenging Brodie now. Lane 4, Frederick Jorgensen, but I think it's between Daniel and Brodie as they come down into the final 5. I think it's going to be the Israeli taking the win. It is in 1:56.67. So good stuff from the 18-year-old. So again, another one who will be challenging for a swim in the junior final. Brodie just behind him, 1:56.97. So he takes second there. Still got 3 more heats to go. So it's getting faster and faster here. So this time we definitely do have a missing swimmer, and that is Liam Dawson, who's not going in lane 4. So 7 swimmers that do go. Liam McLaughlin, Edinburgh University in 1. Arthur Logan, also Edinburgh University in 2. Daniel Dravchov of Israel in 3. Rory McKinnon, the City of Glasgow in 5. 6 is Tom Truman, Nova Centurion. Adam Strickland of Derwentsside in 7. Greg Fairbairn of Stirling University in lane 8. Pretty close at the 50 term at just Adam Strickland, 26.55. Again, a little bit faster than the previous heat. That's what we've been saying throughout. 19-year-old from Derwentsside. So we have 2 juniors in this one. That's Daniel Dravchov and Liam, well, no Liam Dawson, in fact, so just the one. That's lane 2 now. Arthur Logan with the strongest second 50. Goes through 55.51. See there, 28.8. His split there for his second 50. Beside him, you can see Daniel Dravchov in the white cap is going out there with him. So it's those 2, Logan and Dravchov. Dravchov represented Ireland in European Juniors last summer. Arthur Logan, winner in this pool, East Districts recently. That was very much a warm-up for the Edinburgh University crew. But Arthur is pushing on hard here. Looks like he's holding Daniel at bay. Up at the top of your screen there, Greg Fairbairn going nicely in 3rd place. But it's going to be Arthur Logan, the Edinburgh University man, taking this in the end pretty comfortably, 1:54.67. So he'll be happy with that time, I would think. His entry time 1:55.70, so taking a full second off his entry time. Daniel Dravchov 1:55.87 in second. Greg Fairbairn third, 1:56. 95. So all 8 swimmers are present for Heat 7. With the lineup, George Snow of Millfield in 1, Alex Harrand of Daventio in 2, Jude Lydiard, Edinburgh University in 3, Daniel Rabinovich of Israel in 4, Thomas Janssen of Netherlands in 5, Ben Blowers of Loughborough in 6, Ian Rose of University of Bath in 7, and Janet Weiland of Netherlands in lane 8. So up to the wall, it's really tight. Lane 1, George Snow just leading them through. 26.36 again, a little bit faster than the previous heat. That's a continuing trend. Also going nicely is Thomas Janssen in lane 5. Dutch swimmer, 22-year-old. Juniors in this one, George Snow, Alex Harrand, Daniel Rabinovich and Yannick Weiland. And it is Thomas Janssen, though, still leading the way, 55.12. By 3/10 now, George Snow. George will be looking to keep this sort of pace going and get himself another swim. Alex Harrand, also a junior, is up there in lane 2, and up in lane 8, Yannick Weiland, not far away. It's still Thomas Janssen, though, 1:24.37. So a 29-2 split. And I think he's got this one pretty much sewn up. The battle is for second place, lanes 1, 2, and 8. But it is going to be Thomas Janssen who is comfortably clear of the rest of them at CO's time, 1:52.95. Not a million miles away from a place in the B final. If there's a withdrawal, I think that makes him first reserve. So he's got a chance with that swim. Thomas Janssen, very nicely done. It entered 1:54.76, so nearly 2 seconds of improvement for Thomas. Very good stuff. Final heat then, in this 200 freestyle. Lewis Kurtz goes in lane 1 for Oberöster, Austria. Piers Greening of Stirling University in 2, Mads Möller of Hovedstatens in Denmark in 3, and 2 Stirling University swimmers, both 20-year-olds, Jack Munsey in 4 and Henry Baker in 5. Hakan Hal Goldin of Israel in 6, Andrew Bertoli, another from Stirling University in 7, and Jack Fleming of Loughborough completing the field in lane 8. So place in the B final, 1:52.22. Couple of youngsters in this one, Mads in 3, Alkan in 6. It's Louis Kurtz, 25.71. First time we've seen something under 26. So he's going in lane 1. Jack Munsey going pretty well in lane 4 is up there with him. And then it looks like it's Yannick Weiland in lane 8. So all over the pool, 1, 4 and 8 all playing their cards here. Still it's Louis, 52.22, much faster than anything we've seen. Jack Munsey going with him though in lane 4. These two now breaking away from Weiland, and also in lane 5 Henry Baker. Those two battling now for third spot. But it's Louis in lane 1 against Jack in lane 4 as we come up to the 150. Who's going to get the turn this time? It's really tight. Just about together there, 1:23.54, and I think that was Jack just getting the touch that time. Is he going to push on hard here down this last length? Certainly Louis Kurtz is still right there with him. So the two of them neck and neck here coming down. Remember the time for a second swim, 1:52.22. They're going to be pretty close to that, I think. It does look like Jack Munsey is the one who's going to take it, working hard into the wall, and he comes in 1:53.07. So let's just check that one out. That's just slightly slower than Thomas Janssen in the... Slightly slower from the Janssen in the previous heat. So I think Muncie will be second reserve for the B final, if my calculations are right. Didn't put any money on that. So our next event then is the women's 50 freestyle. It's in lined up at the other end of the pool for this one. This will be the first of 10 heats. It'll be fast and furious here, as they just do their checks on the starting system. Make sure that everything is working. So some of the water now, just about ready to go to the 50 freestyle for women. So off we go with the first one. Line up: Bronwyn Payne, Ellie Kennedy, Isabel Kendall, May Rogers, Ida Fergaman, Molly Irvin Watson, Safrina Machin and Diana Morrison. Entry times in high 28s, low 29s. And really close here. Lane 6 and 8 look to be pushing on Molly and Diana. It's between these two at the touch, and it goes to Diana in lane 8, the Morpeth swimmer. 28.59 for her. Very handy half-second improvement on her entry time. So a good way to get us going. She'll line up for the second heat. So the swimmers in heat 2, Sarah Stewart in 1, Katie Lowe in 2, Abigail Morton in 3, Zoe Crawford 4, Jessica Beaton in 5, Tiana Greenshields in 6, Anna Kachenko in 7, and Rosie Heaps in 8. Times here 28.6 to 28.9. And this one is going to be very close, I think. Katie Lowe looking good in lane 2. Beside her, Abigail Morton, Zoe Crawford. Up in lane 8, Rosie Heaps. Who gets the touch? It's Rosie. 28.86. So another one who just edges inside her entry time by 500ths. So really, really close there. 29.13, Katie Lowe, Abigail Morton in third. On to heat number 3, there's your lineup. Looks like they're all there. Millie Colvin, Becky Watson, Emily Cumming, Matilda Merler, Kirsty Breachin, Rebecca Shulman, Eve Wood, and Lana MacDonald. So we saw that really good backstroke from Eve Wood earlier on, and she looks to have started well in lane 7, so the Orkney swimmer in very fine form here. Another one where she did well at North District, did a 28.0 to win there last weekend, and she's going to be a winner here. Can she get into the 27s? Oh yes she can. 27.71. Great stuff there from Eve, once again putting in a good show for us. Have a tie for second there, Rebecca Shulman and Alana MacDonald, the two Stirling swimmers. 28.66 for them. Good stuff, but certainly Eve Wood dominating that one very nicely indeed. On to heat number 4. Again, everyone present and correct. Rebecca Peterson, Anna Lawson, Amber Stevenson, Chloe Philpott, Isla Gilmurray, Isabella Abernethy, Alice Mackey and Charlotte Room. Good start in lane 1 from Hervedstatten's Rebecca Peterson. Beside her, Anna Lawson is going well. Over at the other end of the pool, Charlotte Room in lane 8. So let's see who's going to get this one. It's going to be in lane 8. It is. Charlotte just takes it from Anna Lawson. 28.16 for Charlotte. 28.48 for Anna, with Isla Gilmurray in third. 28.74. So Charlotte there inside her entry time to take the win. Heat number 5. So 2 turbine-side swimmers, Emily Maxwell and Anna Finley in 1 and 2, then Imogen Sargent in 3, Marie Wood in 4, Nubia Adjei in 5, Orla McInnes in 6, Madison Cool in 7, Eva Alguero in 8. Well, Madison Cool was another one who had a really good swim earlier on in the backstroke. Can she do what we saw from Eve Wood? Well, it looks very, very tight at the moment. So not going to be Eve, I don't think. Madison, it's Eva Alguero, is it? No, it's Anna Finley by 100th. 28.14. So close then. By 100th from Eva Alguero, and Emily Maxwell very close as well. 28.21 for her. Alice Finley getting the job done there. Knocks 300ths off her time. Heat number 6. Marissa Turnbull in 1, Falco Tind in 2, Lydia Parker in 3, Carolina Rasmussen in 4, Grace Noonan in 5, Mia McLeod 6, Julie Dunn in 7, Helene Arno in lane 8. Pushing on strongly there, lane 7, Julie Dunn after a good start. South Ayrshire swimmer. And she does look like she's got the edge here, but again, there's plenty of swimmers there or thereabouts. Hard to tell from that shot who's got the advantage, but you can see it's lane 7 and lane 3. Oh, it's lane 3. Lydia Parker just edges that one by 200ths, 27.64. So close. And Julie Dunn just pipped at the post there. So this next one, you see Ellen Walsh, after that cracking swim earlier on, is back in the pool in lane 1 for Ireland. Up against Carla Maiharu, Jade Blake, Abby Winstanley, Emmy Hutchinson, Ava Wilson, Cora Rooney and Grace Conroy. In fact, it looks like we've got an empty lane there. Is that lane 5? Yes, it is. So no Emmy Hutchinson. And no lane 7 as well. Cora Rooney not there either. So 6 swimmers. And Ellen Walsh is certainly pushing off nicely again. Once again, the Irish swimmer did a 27.08 not that long ago in Lisbon. Over in lane 8, Grace Conroy going well. And I think it might be Grace. Is it going to take it? The 2 outside lanes battling it out. No, it's Ellen, in fact. 27.17 for her. So again, well inside her entry time once again. Not quite as fast as she was in Lisbon, but pretty close. Just 200ths ahead of Grace in second, with Carla in third. Oh, this is all too exciting here. All too close. As we rattle through the heats, 3 more to go. So the lineup in this 8th heat: Ashley Drake, Amelia Moole, Abigail Stemp, Sophie Margou, Kirsten Powell, Anna Green, Rebecca Reed and Mary Michenko. And it's pretty close. The Ukrainian swimmer based in Aberdeen now, Mary Michenko, is looking good in lane 8. Is she going to edge this one? It's between her and lane 5, Kirsten Powell, and it is Mary who takes the win. 27.33 for her, so that's a nice improvement on her entry time of 27.7. So good progress from her. Great to have these Ukrainian swimmers swimming for Scottish clubs. And Mary showing that she is progressing very nicely up in Aberdeen. 2 more heats to go. And in this one we've got Caroline Jensen, Sophie Alun-Sheerbeck, Annabelle Chan, Laurie Lohaneff, Ailey Robertson, Charlotte Williams, Lauren Bradley Holt and Anna de Grosser. And really strong start from Ailey Robertson. She's been in very fine form so far this season. The 16-year-old from South Ayrshire entered 27.34. She's going to take the heat, I think. Lane 1 also not far away, Lauren Bradley Holt. But it is, well, that was lane 7, in fact, Lauren. Caroline Jensen in 1. At 27.33 for Ailey Robertson. 100th inside her entry time and exactly the same time as we saw from Mary Mischenko in the previous heat. So, well, I wonder what that does to the rankings in the juniors. So 1 more heat to go before we go to the men's 50 butterfly. Empty lane in lane 2 in this one. So we have Helen Stoddart in 1, Molly McAlorum in 3, Vicky Russell in 4, Mickaleen Stockbrough in 5, Emily Grant in 6, Neve Kennedy 7 and Zoe Giddon in lane 8. And this one's way too close to call. Certainly lane 4, Vicky Russell is in the mix. Lane 8 as well, Zoe Giddon, but there's others as well. Let's see who gets the touch. Mickaleen Stockbrough just edges it in lane 5 by 500s, 27.49 for her. From Vicky Russell 2nd, Zoe Giddon in 3rd. So some good stuff there, and we go on to the men now. 50 butterfly, and there will be 6 heats here. So it's just to mark your card. We had 6 juniors this morning. The slowest of them was 25.84. So if you can get faster than that, you've got every chance, if you're a junior, to get into tonight's junior final. If you're a senior, you've got to get down to 24.95 to have another go. So it's a head-to-head, just 2 swimmers in this first heat. Empty lane in lane 4, so it'll be Ross Anderton of East Lothian against Rufus Bennett of City of Peterborough. I dare say they haven't swum together before, 2 15-year-olds. And it does look like it's Rufus just got the upper hand as they settled into their stroke. So it is the Peterborough swimmer, although Ross Anderton's not far away now. But it's going to be Rufus who takes the win in 26.76. That's a nice PB for him. Ross 27.85, pretty close to his entry time, but 26.76 there. Good stuff from Rufus. So that sets the early pace. Certainly faster than the entry times for this coming heat. And there's the lineup for it. 7 swimmers. Looks like they're all there. So the lineup: Lucas Johnson, Noah Lester, Greer van der Merlen, Cedar Gullen, Edward Bell, Ben Horton, and Fergus Woodward. Entry time is 27.1 to 27.4. And again, this is too close to really call. Just have to sit back and watch here and see what happens as they go down past those 50-meter markers. Looks like maybe it's the centre lanes 4 and 5 who are going to decide it between them. Cedar Gullen and Edward Bell, and it's Edward who gets the touch, 26.88. So he's also inside his end time by nearly 4/10. Cedar Gullen, 27.07, just nudges inside his time as well in 2nd place. Heat number 3. next up. 26.8 to 27.1 the entry times here. The lineup: Isaac Buchan, Robson Miles, Cameron Jimison, Zach Slater, Ben Kelly, Swani Talib, Marcus Scullion and Andrew Brodie. The Kenyan Swale Talib looking strong, has had international honours for Kenya. He's in lane 6. Up in lane 8, Andrew Brodie. Let's see, is it going to be Andrew? I think it is. Yep, 26.57. So again, a nice improvement, and his entry time 27.10. Did a 26.85 last weekend at North Districts, but in faster than that here. So good progression from the Aberdeen Dolphin. And on to heat number 4. Brendan Johnson, Cameron Creaney, Angelo Mormina, Thomas Maskell, Lars Knudsen, Greg Fairbairn, Finlay Nelson, Adam Strickland. Line up here to entry time 26.3 to 26.7. Good start from the yellow-capped Cameron Creaney. Also in lane 4, Thomas Maskell of Derwentsside getting into his stroke, and I think he maybe has the edge now. See, is it going to be him? Is it going to be Cameron on the touch? Ooh, it's close, but just 300ths in it, and it was Thomas Maskell taking it 26.23 inside his entry time, narrowly. Similarly for Cameron, nice little PB for him in second spot. That's the lineup for heat number 5. Marcus Iacovidis, the Cypriot based in Bath, in 1. Vincent Kay in 2. Ryan Ferguson in 3. Mark Innes in 4. Tom Exel in 5. Finlay Wright in 6. Murray Pritchard in 7. Finlay Clubb in 8. Tom Exel getting a good start. The Loughborough swimmer in lane 5. Entry time 26.0. He's certainly got the upper hand here. Half a metre or so up. Going well in lane 1 is Marcus Iacovidis. And he is not far away here, but it is Exel taking the win. 25.79 for him. Another one improving on his entry time by a couple of tenths this time. Iacovidis 25.95, so he takes a couple of tenths off his time as well. So some good swims there, Finlay Wright in 3rd. This is the final heat then. Nia Hay goes in 1. Brogan McAviney in 2. Joshua Mitchell in 3. Ross Leslie in 4. Jack Casson in 5. Peter Allen in 6. Sebastian Greason in 7. And Aidan Kay in lane 8. Just edging it in lane 4 is Ross Leslie, the Edinburgh University swimmer. So is there such a thing as home pool advantage? I'm not sure there is, but certainly Ross is enjoying his swim here. Can he see it through? Pushing up in lane 6 is Peter Allen. And in fact, Peter just edges it. The Stirling man gets the touch. 25.61 from Ross. 25.67. Jack Cass in 3rd. 25.88. So, fast and furious 50s. We go now to something a little bit different, 400 freestyle. So, in the 400 freestyle, we will have 5 heats. So off they go. We have a couple of empty lanes, and this one's lanes 6 and 7. So the line-up here is Ayla Cochrane of City of Glasgow in 1, Jessica Thomas of Borough of Stockton in lane 2, Rosie Forster of Warrender in 3. Off to a good start in lane 4. Louise Connell of City of Glasgow. Ashley Drake goes for Warrender in 5. And another Warrender swimmer, Kate Nolan, over in lane 8 with a couple of empty lanes away from the rest of the action. So Louise Connell first through, 30.83, up by 3/10. Teammate Ayla Cochrane, though, is up there with her. So mostly an Edinburgh-Glasgow affair with the trio from Warrender and 2 from Glasgow. But we also have Jessica Thomas from Stockton. So it's going to be the 2 Glaswegians with the early advantage. Ayla just touched, well, in fact, same time, 105.58 at the 100. You can see there 34.4 split for Ayla, 34.7 for Louise in her second 50. It does look like lane 1, Ayla Cochrane just taking that pace into this third length as well. 3-way contest for third. Jessica Thomas in 2. Ashley Drake 5, Kate Nolan in 8. So through the turn, still very little to choose between the 2 Glasgow swimmers. Ayla still with the advantage though. Ayla Cochrane entered on 4:40.86, but she did a 4:42 at Toll Cross recently in the West District Championship, so she'll be looking to emulate or improve on that if she can. Don't have any recent form for Louise Connell. She was finalist in the Scottish Summer Meet up in Aberdeen last July. Third place now is Jessica Thomas of Stockton. So halfway mark, it's Ayla by about a quarter of a second, 2:17.71. So very much west is best here. The west of Scotland taking it to the east, with the 3 Warrender swimmers languishing somewhat. But can the swimmer from the northeast of England keep there in touch with the 2 Glaswegians? He's about a body length back now with 150 to go. And it's getting tighter now between Ayla and Louise, just 1600ths between them. As Louise picked up a 10th there in that length there, and looks like she's continuing to progress. So it certainly looks like it's these 3. The only question, I guess, is only question 1, which of the Glaswegians will take it? And question 2, can Jessica Thomas stick with them and maybe beat them both with a strong final 100? She'd really have to push it on though from here. What, 2.5 meters or so back going into that final 100. Now just 700ths with Louise Connell into the lead. But Taylor looking pretty good still in lane 1. It does look like Jessica is making a bit of ground on the Glaswegians in lane 2. Let's see what she can do in the final length. She's not out of this by any means. Also going nicely now in lane 8, Kate Nolan, the 14-year-old, the youngest swimmer in the field. And she's trying her best to get back towards the leaders. But into the final length there, and Ayla Cochrane back into the lead with a strong penultimate 50 there. Jessica, you can see there, 35.99 for her last split. It's actually swimming fastest in the water at the moment. But whether she's got enough time to haul back these 2 City of Glasgow swimmers, I think is very doubtful now. Who's going to take the win? Is it going to be lane 1, Ayla? Is it going to be lane 4, Louise? It's going to go all the way to the touch, but it is Ayla who really managed that finish very nicely to take the win, 4:43.07. So well inside her entry time here. Not quite as fast as she did in Toll Cross, but pretty close to it. So another really good, solid swim, also from Louise Connell, inside her entry time as well, and Jessica Thomas, 4:45.21 for her from a 4:47 entry time. So nicely done. So heat 2 coming up. Looks like they're all there. So line up for heat 2 is Lexi McCappin of first in lane 1. Mia McLeod of Swim It in 2. Caris Mooney, City of Glasgow in 3. Tegan Black of East Lothian in 4. Alice Forrest of Derwentside in 5. Kiana Kurtzer of Warrender in 6. Emily Maxwell of Derwentside in 7. And Georgia Dickey of Dumfries in lane 8. Tegan Black and Alice Forrest setting the pace here. Alice just 14, the youngest swimmer in the field, but she's a quarter of a second back on Tegan at the 50. Also up there with them, Caris Mooney in lane 3. So that's your leading trio coming down to the 100. Tegan, Youth Academy member, the winner in the Scottish Summer Meet. Second in the East Districts. Has she got the lead at the 100? It's going to be tight. I'm not sure she will have. I think it might be lane 5. Alice Forrest, it is. 1:05.48. 10th faster than the previous heat. So Alice, the youngster from Derwentside. Caris Mooney right there with them. So there's 3. Just pulling away a bit. Emily Maxwell closest to them in lane 7. But it is Alice Forrest who is making a bit of a move now. And she's got about a meter's advantage on Tegan and Caris at the 150. And you see there 35.2 for that last 50 is half a second faster than anybody else. Georgia Dickey in 5th place, actually swimming pretty fast at the moment in lane 8. Alice now a body length up on Tegan and Caris. And not far away from them now, Emily Maxwell in lane 7. So coming up to halfway. The first heat was 2:17.7 at the halfway mark, so this will be faster. 2:15.75 for Alice. Now a second and a half up on the other 2. And again, a 35.0 there is faster by nearly a second on her pacing than the others. But can she sustain it? Well, certainly no signs that she can't at the moment. Looking very comfortable in lane 5. Still tight for second. Tegan and Caris. Tegan, I think, just edging it, but not by much at all. 1800s. So they're 35.4 Alice, 36.10 for intermediate split for Tegan, 36.0 Caris. Maybe Caris just edging into second now, although, well, to all intents and purposes, side by side. Nice shot, close-up shot of the youngster now, Alice Forrest. Doing the best to keep this nice and smooth. And she comes to the 300, really building that lead nicely now. 3:26.09. Keep an eye on Georgia Dickey in lane 8. She's right up there in the challenge for second place now with Tegan and Caris, who've been side by side pretty much all the way through. But nobody's going to get close to Alice Forrest here. So she was just over the 110 for her third 100, so I think we are all set for a nice improvement on our 4:40 entry time. Let's see, 50 to go, 4:01, so another 35 would be 4:36 against her 4:40 entry time, but surely she can find a bit of extra pace down this last length. Meanwhile, the race is on for second. Georgia Dickey has just moved past the 2 in lanes 3 and 4. Let's focus on Alice here as she comes down. Yeah, final length, just keeping that stroke nice and smooth all the way through, showing lovely technique as we see the race hotting up for second place. Georgia Dickey maybe with the advantage, but Alice Forrest taking it in a nice time, 4:35.43, 5 seconds inside her entry time. Well done, making the trip up north across the border, well worthwhile. 4:41.14, Tegan Black just doing enough to take second. Not far away from her entry time. Georgia Dickey in third. She improves by a couple of seconds on her entry time. And Karis Mooney just behind them, 4:41.47 in fourth. Now, what's interesting there, Alice Forrest, you would think probably will get a place in the junior final with that 4:35. We'll see what happens in the remaining heats, but certainly that sets her in good stead at the moment for a place in the junior final. We still have a number of, well, quite a lot of youngsters still to come, so maybe I've spoken too soon. We'll see. In this third heat, we have Orla McInnes after Midlothian going in 1, Grace Campbell of Portobello in lane 2, Maria Romanovskaya of Repton in 3, Isabel Wood, Stirling Swim in 4, teammate Cara Gordon in lane 5, Adea Salaku of Daventio in 6, Elena Morgan of Stirling University in 7, and Jessica Keogh in lane 8 for Hatfield. Isabel Wood with the early lead, Stirling Swim and Maria Romanovskaya just behind her in the black cap. Isabel Wood third in the North District Open in Aberdeen. That was a short course event in November. But she's going to go through the 100 in the lead from Elena Morgan in lane 7. 1:04.84 is about half a second faster than Heat 2. Isabel Wood, 18-year-old, so she doesn't qualify as a junior. Neither does Elena Morgan, the 21-year-old. So the leading junior here is Maria Romanovskaya of Repton in lane 3. I'll keep an eye on her splits relative to Alice Forrest in the previous heat. But still is Isabel Wood setting the pace, 1:39.82 at 1:50. And she's getting certainly the edge on Elena, but well, Maria is looking pretty good in lane 3. Challenging for second now. And not too far behind her is the Portobello swimmer Grace Campbell. Swimming in Glasgow University now, but back with her home club for this weekend. 2:14.86 then for Isabel. Maria's time 2:16.39 is about half a second behind Alice Forrest split, so Alice Forrest still the leading junior. So let's see whether anybody can challenge Isabel Wood in the second half. She's still looking pretty comfortable with Elena Morgan still in second and Maria Romanovskaya in third. None of them really mounting a serious challenge on Isabel. You can see her intermediate split there, 35.3. Only Cara Gordon with a faster split than that, and she's quite a long way back in fourth place in lane 5. So the two Stirling swimmers pushing on, led by Isabel. 100 to go. 3:25.93. Now, not much faster than Alice Forrest at all, just a tenth or so. Elena second, Maria third, Cara fourth. The one who's maybe putting in a bit of a push is Elena Morgan late on here. So certainly some leg action coming there from lane 7. But coming up to the final turn, Isabel Wood, well, really coming under pressure now. So the two of them just about together. Still is Isabel, but there's only 200s in it now. So Elena Morgan from Stirling University against Isabel Wood from Stirling Swimming. Town versus Gown here, and it looks like Gown might just win it, with Elena Morgan, who's been very strong in this last 100, coming through. Cara Gordon coming up for third place, but it's going to be Elena Morgan timing her attack perfectly to take the win in the end pretty comfortably. 4:33.83 for the Welsh woman based in Stirling. And that's a nice improvement on her entry time of nearly 5 seconds. Isabel Wood in second, 4:35.54. And Cara Gordon third, 4:37.75. So your line up there for heat number 4, Charlotte Room of Deventio in lane 1, Angelina Roman of the Netherlands in 2, Mary Mischenko, another Ukrainian, swimming for University of Aberdeen in 3, Isabella Woolard of Millfield in 4, Catherine Renfrew of Perth City in 5, Katie Noble of Newcastle in 6, Sophie Davis of Millfield in 7, and Mia Mason, City of Manchester, in lane 8. So good early start from the Dutch woman Angelina Roman. So she's entered 4:33. Youngster, just 16 this year. She was second in the Dutch Junior Championships last season. And she leads them through. First time I think we've seen a sub 30-second split. So certainly making the early move. How do the others respond to that? Up to the 100. She's up by a bit more than the body length. 1:02.75, and that's certainly faster than anything we've seen. Angelina, 16 this year. So she'll certainly be looking for another swim in the junior final. Mary Mischenko turning second, 17-year-olds, also qualifying as a junior. Going in lane 3, lane 6. Katie Noble, 15-year-old from Newcastle, so juniors leading the way here. So remember that time from Alice Forrest, 4:35.46. We had 2 juniors, the slowest of whom was 4:40 in the morning's heats. But this is a very solid lead for Angelina. Makes it look so easy, doesn't she? It's this little loping stroke, but very, very effective. Through in 2:09.73, and that's some 5 seconds faster than the previous heat. 33.7 split there. Next best 34.3. Charlotte Room now has moved up into second in lane 1. 16-year-old from Deventio. But this is the Angelina Roman show. Absolutely taking it to the Brits. About 5 meters or so up on Charlotte Room. Charlotte, though, pacing slightly faster in that one, so we'll keep an eye on that, but she's, well, you can see, nearly 4 seconds behind, so 3/10 per lap won't really do it. But let's see if she can close the gap at all. Sometimes things can change quite quickly in these middle distance events, just if somebody timed it slightly wrong. No signs really that that's the case here, though. Angelina going through 3:19.15. So again, Charlotte 4/10 faster. So now the lead just about 3.3. Certainly Angelina having to work quite hard now, I think. Having really attacked it in the first half. And very aggressive stroking from Charlotte Room. She is really pushing on, making her bid for her second swim. So 50 to go. And Angelina now has picked up the pace, a 34.3 there. So she senses that the end is nigh. He just finds that extra little bit and looking to book her place in the junior final, which I'm sure she's going to do now. So this is an excellent swim from the Dutch girl. 4:33 her entry time, takes that down to 4:27. So really good swim there from Angelina. Second place was Charlotte Room, 4:31.24 for her. So a nice improvement from her as well. On her 4:34 entry time, Katie Noble taking third out of lane 6. The Newcastle swimmer also inside her entry time in 4:32.23. So one more heat to go. That's the swimmers who are going to be competing in this final heat. Shea Stewart in lane 1 from Nova Centurion, Hannah Hodgkiss of Repton in 2, Lauren Bradley Holt of Stirling University in 3, Amy Shields, City of Glasgow in 4, Rebecca Reid of Aberdeen in 5, Susie McNair of Stirling Swim in 6, Amelia Moule of Loughborough University in 7, and Isla Ince of Millfield in lane 8. So the entry times here range 4:28 up to 4:32. So it'll need a PB to match Angelina Roman's 4:27.30. Or if not a PB, certainly faster than their entry times. Rebecca Reid of Aberdeen first to the wall by 400ths from Isla Ince. Lane 3 also looking pretty good. That's Lauren Bradley Holt, strong out of the wall there. So she's in the green Stirling University cap. And looks like she's maybe got the edge now, though. Isla Ince in lane 8, another youngster, just 14 this year. It's going well, but it's Lauren, 1:04.83. That's not as fast as the previous heat. 1:05.2 for Amy Shields in second, Rebecca Reid in third. So Amy in the blue cap in lane 4, Rebecca rather, beside her in the white cap in lane 5. Going well in lane 2, Hannah Hodgkiss of Repton. Well, plenty of others as well, but Lauren Bradley Holt has opened a gap to more than a second and a half now. 33.6 intermediate split, more than a second faster than anyone else. 34s and 35s for the rest of the field. So Lauren moving away. Best of the rest now, I think, is Rebecca Reid in lane 5. We've got 1.5 meters on the others now. Through halfway then, 2:12.37. So pacing around the 34s. Rebecca Reid has picked up her pacing. That was 34.4 there. So she has broken away from the 5 swimmers behind her. Can she mount a challenge on Lauren in the second half? We saw in the previous heat that it can be difficult to close down a big gap, but Rebecca Reid now is pacing a bit faster. 33.9 against Lauren's 34.2. Susie Moneros putting in a 34.2 up in lane 6, moved into third place, ahead of Amy Shields. So bleed green, the phrase from the University of Stirling. Well, hopefully she's not bleeding, but she's going pretty effectively. But Rebecca Reid is still pushing on. So 3:21.09 against 3:22.73. So this isn't over yet. Susie McNair in third. Swimmer who's making great progress, and she is pushing on well. Really good third 100 from Susie, the 16-year-old from Stirling. So that's your trio. And at the moment, you would say it's Laura and Rebecca, Susie, the 1, 2, 3. But okay, will that change in the final 50? The gaps definitely are shrinking. So you can see Susie pacing the fastest in third place. And there's a second advantage between Lauren and Rebecca, and another second between Rebecca and Susie here. But who's got the pace down this final length? Certainly Susie McNair has come up like a train, but I think Lauren has something in reserve. And it looks like she is going to finish the job here. No upsets, you would think, but Susie McNair is pushing on. She's gone past Rebecca. She takes second. And in the end, it was perhaps a fairly tired Lauren Bradley Holt who held on for the win there, 4:28.69. Inside her entry time by over half a second, so nicely done. Not quite as fast as Angelina in the previous heat, though, but a good swim from Lauren. Susie McNair there, 4:29.38, right on her entry time. Rebecca Reid in third, 4:30.15. So from women's 400 freestyle, we move on now to men's 200 breaststroke. 4 heats in this one. Three swimmers set to go in heat number 1. They are Connor Christophorus of Aberdeen Dolphin in lane 3, Max Pelosi, City of Glasgow in 4, Ewan Weir, Dundee City Aquatics in lane 5. So Aberdeen, Glasgow, Dundee, the contest here. Who will take the honours? Entry times 2:36 up to 2:39. Max Pelosi with the fastest of the entry times. But it is the Dundonian Ewan Weir who is setting off with the early lead. 4 lengths of the pool, of course. And it is Ewan with a comfortable lead at the 50, 35.46. Pretty tight between Connor and Max. See there down at the bottom of your screen. They're about a body length behind Ewan. Ewan Weir, 4th in national age groups last spring. Winner in the Midland age group championships. And he goes through 1:16.53, so 2 seconds clear Max Pelosi, and now got half a second on Connor Christophorus. Ewan looks to be holding his lead nicely enough. One of a group of swimmers, I think I'm right in saying this, of Strathallan School, which has produced many a fine swimmer, most notably, of course, Duncan Scott. 1:58.86. So 42.3 split for Ewan, 42.7 for Max. So it does look like Ewan will be able to hold on to that. So we're on sort of 2:40-ish pace. 2:37 entry time, so let's see if he can pick up his pace and get close to his 2:37.9 entry time. 2:37.7, sorry. Certainly can take the heat comfortably, and the stroke rate has increased. He comes down now into his last stroke, 2:39.94. Connor Christophorus 2:44. 8-4 in second, just ahead of Max Pelosi, 2:45.08. So Dundee taking the bragging rights over Aberdeen and Glasgow in that one. And we go on to heat number 2. Another Pelosi going here. Max's twin brother Guy goes in lane 1 for City of Glasgow. Thomas Traynor, East Kilbride in 2. Gregor Ross, City of Glasgow in 3. Jack Mitchell, University of Aberdeen in 4. Robson Miles, City of Glasgow in 5. David Smith of Glenrothes in 6. And James Gordon of Perth City in lane 7. So another all-Scottish affair. Glasgow, East Kilbride, Aberdeen, Glenrothes, Perth. Entry time is 2:33s to 2:36s. And it is Jack Mitchell of University of Aberdeen who's setting off at good pace here. Jack Mitchell, bronze medalist at the Scottish Summer Meet, silver the North District age groups recently. And really pushing it on here, 33.37. That's 2 seconds faster than Ewan Wiz split. So really attacking this 200 breaststroke. East Kilbride swimmer Thomas Traynor going nicely in lane 2 with Gregor Ross beside him. And lanes 5 and 6 not far away either. Robson Miles, David Smith. And they're all in the wake of Jack Mitchell on 12.07. Now 4.5 seconds faster than the previous heat. And a lead of about 1.8 over Thomas Traynor. Thomas Traynor, Youth Academy member. Second in the West District Championships recently, second in the Scottish Summer Meet. He's a year younger than Jack Mitchell, so they wouldn't have been in the same race up in Aberdeen at the Scottish Summer Meet. Up to the 150, and this is getting tighter now. We've seen a really good third length from Gregor Ross, has moved up into second place. You see that 39.9 is pacing there. So he is meaning business now. Can he come through and take the win? Thomas Traynor's not out of this by any means in lane 2. So it looks like it's these three. The early leader, Jack Mitchell, coming under a lot of pressure now. As Gregor Ross, I think, just inching past him. The West District champion looking to try and take this one. The others coming up, look at that, lanes 5 and 6 coming up really strongly, Robson and David. So suddenly we've got 5 swimmers coming into the wall together, but it's Gregor Ross takes the win, 2:34.58. Very well managed swim from him. David Smith, really fast in that last length, as was Robson Miles, both of them coming in very fast for second and third. 2:34.74 for David, 2:35.01 for Robson. So excellent race there. Just shows the different tactics at play there, but Gregor Ross with that well-worked second half, the one who prevailed in the end. On to heat number 3. We've got an empty lane in this one in lane 7. So the line-up here is Ben Swan of Borough Stockton in lane 1, Fraser McIntosh of East Kilbride in 2, Connor Mitchell of Warrender in 3, Josh Martin, City of Peterborough in 4, Aidan Fothergill of Edinburgh University in 5, Jake Holmes, City of Glasgow in 6, and Fraser Tetlow of Geary in lane 8. So it's lanes 3 and 8, I think, going to lead at the 50. Just Connor Mitchell in lane 3, 33.68. From Fraser McIntosh actually turning second ahead of Fraser Tetlow in lane 8. So there's lanes 2 and 3 going well. Let's still have Fraser Tetlow up there in lane 8. well away from them. So let's see as we come up to the halfway mark, and it is the Warrender swimmer. Goes through 1:11.66, about half a second faster than the previous heat. At the halfway point, just nicking under the 38 for his second 50. So he'll be looking to wind it up now. Youth Academy member, National Age Group silver medalist, East District Age Group champion in this pool recently. And of course he'll do a lot of his training in this pool, the Edinburgh clubs, the University, Warrender, Heart of Midlothian in particular, sharing pool time here at the Commonwealth pool. So 1:50.86, Connor Mitchell up by a second and a half. Fraser Tetlow now has second, ahead of Fraser McIntosh. So we saw swimmers coming up strongly in the last 50 in the previous heat. Fraser Tetlow's having a go to do that here, but I think Jack Mitchell has this under control, although, well, let's just wait and see. Difficult to tell from that angle, but now you can see how close it is. And maybe Fraser is going to nick it. He is. What a last length from the Geary swimmer. 2:30.14 takes the win, and a nice PB of just about 3 seconds as well. Really good stuff. Really attacked that last length and takes the win from Connor Mitchell in second, Josh Martin in third. So the 17-year-old from Geary, Inverurie in Aberdeenshire, taking a brilliant win there. So let's move on to the final heat of this men's 200 breaststroke. So the lineup for this final heat: Joshua Sacre of City of Peterborough in lane 1, Rory Dixon, Stirling University in 2, Emil Moravsky of Edinburgh University in 3, Nikolai Kutoriansky of Nova Centurion in 4, Charlie Trotman of Edinburgh University in 5, William Morris, Borough of Stockton in 6, Micah Van Blurk of Warrender in 7, and Royas Gringelis goes in lane 8 for City of Glasgow. So early leader Rory Dixon from Stirling University, 31.99. Rory has been a swimmer in strong form in the last year or so, making big strides, which have earned him a place in the Scottish senior team this season. Probably more renowned on the shorter breaststroke distances, but certainly looking so far very good in the 200 here, leading Emil Moravsky, a Pole based at Edinburgh University, 1:08.55. Halfway, about 3 seconds faster than the previous heat. So Rory, a 21-year-old, Emil Moravsky, the 19-year-old. So both of them need to get down to a 2:22 to get a second swim tonight. 1:45.98. Not going to be a million miles away from it, I don't think, but it probably might be a bit too much to ask for. Certainly going to take first and second here. Third is Charlie Trotman in lane 5 ahead of Nikolai Kutoriansky in lane 4. So all the top 4 here are senior swimmers as we watch them come towards the camera, led by Rory in lane 2. Good aggressive stroking, and he's going to be a clear winner here and really pushing on 2:22.24. That will get him into the B final. So brilliant stuff. I said that was a big ask, but what a final. Look at that, 36.26 on his last 50. That was amazing stuff there from Rory. Entered 2:28. So huge improvement on his entry time, 6 seconds. That was special. I think that's the swim of the afternoon so far for me. So well done, Rory. Love that. So strong down that final 50 meters. Right, calm down. And we go to the women's 100 breaststroke. 5 heats to go here. But what a swim that was from Rory. So impressed with that. So it will be interesting to see what he can do tonight. Sometimes when you do that sort of massive step forward in the heats, it's hard to replicate it in the finals, but we'll see whether Rory can later on. Meanwhile, let's focus on the women in the 100 breaststroke. This is the first of 5 heats, and the lineup: Erica Watt going for Heart of Midlothian in 2, Bronwyn Payne of the Borders in 3, Sarah Kravis of East Lothian in 4, Alice Forrest of Domanside in 5, and Ava Kirkham of First in 6. Well, Alice Forrest back in the water here after that superb swim earlier on. So let's see what she can do here. So Sarah Kravis leading the way, 37.15. Zara 14 this year, so Zara and Alice both 14 this year, but it's the East Lothian swimmer who's got the upper hand. Youth Academy member. Looking pretty good for this one. Our entry time is 1:19.4. Can she get inside that into the final 5? It'll be close. I think she will improve on it. Yes, she does. 1:18.74. Well done, Zara. Second, Alice Forrest, 1:20.75, with Ava Kirkham in third, 1:21.37, just ahead of Bronwyn Payne. So line up for Heat 2. We have Caris Mooney of City of Glasgow in lane 1, Amy Owenson of Borders in 2, Rebecca Cole of Hamilton in 3, Ailey Armstrong of East Lothian in 4, Evie O'Halloran Hutchinson of Derwentsside in 5, Lucy Nimmo in 6, Leah Bullock in 8, Lucy from City of Glasgow and Leah from East Kilbride. And both of them off to good starts. Lucy and Leah over on the far side of your screen now. Touch just going to Leah, 36.77. Leads by a couple of tenths from Lucy. Border swimmer Amy Owenson also looking good in lane 2. Others not far away. Maybe just edging into the lead now, Lucy Nimmo. See there on the left of your screen in the blue cap, just staying in shot as the camera pans across. Who's going to get the touch though? I think it is between Lucy and Leah up at the top of your screen. I think Leah is going to take it. She does, 1:17.95. So she takes over a second off her entry time. Lucy, 1:18.42, also improves on her time. Amy Owenson taking third. Heat number 3. So a pretty quick return to the pool for Stirling Swims. Susie McNair, she goes in lane 1. Ava Wilson of Newhall in 2. Aoife Brooks of Edinburgh University in 3. Katie Coventry of Morpeth in 4. Charlotte Williams of Hatfield in 5. Tegan Black, also a fairly quick return to the pool for her. She goes in 6 for East Lothian. Perry Scobby of Stirling Swim in 7. And Ailey McNair of Mulgai and Bearsden in lane 8. Perry Scobby starting strongly in lane 7, so she'll be first through the turn. 35.73, second fast in the previous heat. Behind her, lane 3, Aoife Brooks, lane 5, Charlotte Williams. Susie McNair not too far away as well in lane 1, but it is Perry is the one they're chasing in lane 7. Maybe it is her teammate in lane 1, Susie McNair, putting in another good strong swim from the outside lane. So the two Stirling swimmers pushing on here. And I think are going to be 1 and 2 with Perry taking the win and Susie second. 1:15.91 Perry's time. Another nice PB of about 1.8 or so. Susie was entered 1:17.9. She takes that down to 1:16.6. Charlotte Williams in third, 1:17.64. We're seeing some very nice Stirling swims here. And on to heat number 4. Another empty lane in lane 7. So the lineup: Ellie Kennedy, City of Glasgow in 1. Ella McGeorge of Cooper in 2. Katie Caldwell of Mulgai and Bearsden in 3. Mabel Walker of Repton in 4. Fern Crichton, Dundee City Aquatics in 5. Zara Smith of Warrender in 6. And Ailey Stewart, also of Warrender, in lane 8. So not too much in it early on here, going down the pool in a line. See if anybody can break free. Ella McGeorge is having a go in lane 2. I think she's going to be first to touch, also going well. Ailey Stewart up at the top of your screen, but it is Ella, 35.76. Pretty much the same split as the previous heat. So she is looking to push it on here. Cooper, Northeast Fife. Quite a small club, but looking really strong here. Ella, entry time for her, 1:16.6. So what can she bring this home in? So they can take the win very comfortably in the end, 1:16.10. So she's inside wrench time by half a second. Again, we'll need to see whether that's good enough for a place in the junior final. Might be, depending on what happens in this next heat, where we've got a couple of juniors. So the last of the women's 100 breaststroke heats, we have Kirsten Powell of Millfield in lane 1, Lily Jackson Oates of Nova Centurion in 2, Jana Spinner of University of Bath in 3, Lucy Stoves, Dundee City Aquatics in 4, Anna de Grosser from the Borders in 5, Emily McGee of Carnoustie in 6, Amy McLeod, City of Glasgow in 7, Holly Robinson of Repton School in lane 8. A look at Jana Spinner go, the University of Bath swimmer, absolutely dominating this one. She won the Swim England Winter Championships. Of course, that was a short course event, did a 1:08 there. 33:02 is much faster than anything we've seen. So now let's have a look at this, because a place in the A final, 1:10.76. Surely that is the target here for Jana. B final, 1:12.69. I think she could nail that on, but can she get into the A final? Going well in lane 6 for second place, Emily McGee. But there's only one swimmer in this one, that is Jana. Let's see what the time is, 1:10.69. That knocks her into the A final. So in joint 7th place, if my calculations are right. So well done, Jana. We'll see you again tonight. Emily McGee there, 1:13.81 in second place. And in third, Holly Robinson, 1:14.87. Well, I talked about swims of the afternoon. I think I just have to update that, Jana there. That was very nice indeed. So our final event of the afternoon is the men's 200 individual medley. And here we've got 5 heats. So off they go with the first of the 5 heats. Cameron Doran goes for City of Glasgow in lane 1. Teammate Gregor Ross in lane 2. Lucas Johnson, University of Aberdeen in 3. William Morris of Borough Stockton in 4. Finlay Nelson of Dumfries in 5. Orlando Deering of City of Peterborough in 6. Then 2 from Geary. James Boddy in 7. Kyle Mitchell in lane 8. So Lucas Johnson, 28.84, leads after the butterfly. Going well in lane 8, Kyle Mitchell. And I think he's now moved into the lead. We're looking really good on backstroke. Cameron Doran not far away. Neither in lane 6 is Orlando Deering, but it is the yellow-capped Kyle Mitchell who's really pushed it hard in the backstroke and goes through in 1:04.32. So it is lane 8 and lane 1 now. The breaststroke slightly changing things as they come back at Kyle now. The 2 Glaswegians in particular down at the bottom of your screen. Cameron in 1, Gregor in 2. Also moving up nicely, Lucas Johnson in lane 3. So as they come up to the 150, I think it's still going to be just Kyle, is it? Oh, let's see. No, it's not. It's Gregor. 1:49.05. So who's got the strongest freestyle then? Is it going to be a Glaswegian victory? Can Kyle Mitchell come back in lane 8? Or is Lucas Johnson going to come through in lane 3? Or Orlando Deering in lane 6? So there's 5 swimmers who've got a chance here. You can see there at the bottom of your screen, Cameron Doran going well. Who's going to get this one? This is so tight. Orlando Deering maybe coming through very strongly to take the win. 2:21.83 for Orlando. The Peterborough swimmer takes the win in a good competitive first heat there. From second place, James Boddy, 2:22.16, and Kyle Mitchell in third, 2:22.14. Good one. Enjoyed that race. Hope you did. Heat number 2. Fraser Tetlow goes in lane 1 for Geary. Empty lane in lane 2. Thomas Traynor in 3 for East Kilbride. Jan Yarden of Israel in 4. 2 Glaswegians, Max Pelosi in 5. Jake Holmes in 6. 7 is Jack Doherty Simpson of Scotia, and Edward Bell in lane 8 for Seagulls. And a good start from Edward. Seems to have had a pretty busy afternoon. Jan Yarden as well is right up there in lane 4. Is he going to get the touch? No, it's Edward. 27.77. So Edward Bell, as I mentioned earlier, I think Youth Academy member in the Scottish programme, right from the south coast. Seagulls based in Christchurch. And he is holding his advantage in the backstroke pretty well from the Israeli. These two well clear now of the others. And it is going to be Edward, 1:01.66 now, quite a bit faster than the previous heat, over 2.5 seconds. Nice 33.8 split for Edward on his backstroke, but on the breaststroke, we'll see whether he comes under pressure. Jan will be just moving up. And also pushing on strongly in lane 7 is the Scotia swimmer Jack Doherty-Simpson, trying to make some ground along with Thomas Traynor in lane 3. So the breaststrokers trying to come up. But it's going to be the Israeli now. Jan Yarden goes into freestyle 1:44.42. And really nice turn into freestyle there, and suddenly he's about 4 meters up. So he's got this one surely taped up. Looks a lot closer in that lineup, but you can see as the camera straightens up just what a big lead Jan's got. And pushing on now into these last few meters. He will take a comfortable victory. His entry time 2:18. And he moves that down to 2:15.65. It's a good 2.5 second improvement for Jan on his entry time. Edward Bell 2:18.54. He improves by a second on his entry time. And Thomas Traynor in third, 2:20.36. Moving on to heat number 3. Ben McLaughlin in lane 1 for Geary. Logan van der Merlen starting swim in lane 2. James Burnett of Warrender in 3. Benjamin Shuyan, Edinburgh University in 4. Tom Robertson, Aberdeen Dolphin in 5. Joshua Sackery of City of Peterborough in 6. Kai Connolly of City of Glasgow in 7. And his teammate Royas Kringellis in lane 8. Times here 2:15 up to 2:18. Strong start from Tom Robertson. He is renowned as a good fly swimmer, so no surprise to see him pushing on strongly here. 27.88. He leads by 6/10 from James Burnett. And Ben Chuyan in third. The juniors here will have to get under a 2:13.9. My calculations are correct to be considered for junior place. And very, very close now at halfway. Burnett and Robertson. Both of them are qualifying as juniors. James, the younger of the two, the 16-year-old. 1:02.33. So let's see as the breaststroke goes, and it's Burnett maybe just edging into the lead, but moving up strongly. Logan van der Merlen in lane 2. So what can he do here? Can he get in the mix? Lane 4, Benjamin Shuyan, just a little bit further back, but it's going to be Burnett leading them through the 1:50, 1:43.71. Now a little faster than the previous heat, about 7/10. But a good competitive race here. James Burnett trying to hold off Logan van der Merlen. So James in the red cap there, and also keep your eye on Tom Robertson's finishing strongly. But it looks like it's van der Merlen and Burnett in lanes 2 and 3 who are going to decide this. It's touch for touch. Also, Ben McLaughlin storming through. Whoa! Did not see that coming. Ben McLaughlin takes it by 400s, 2:15.98. Logan van der Merlen, 2:16.02. And James Burnett, 2:16.51. Whoa. Ben McLaughlin absolutely huge in that last. Fortunately, though, a DQ. I think that's our first of the day. James Burnett has been disqualified, so a technical infraction, so he drops out of the reckoning. But what a finish from Ben McLaughlin there. 2 heats to go this afternoon. And you can see there an empty lane in lane 2. So the lineup for this one: Maite Rosenfeld of Israel in 1, Joseph Martin of Derwentsside in 3, then 2 Warrender swimmers, Micah van Blurk in 4 and Brodie Gordon-Gibson in 5, John Taylor, University of Aberdeen in 6, Joshua Robinson of Derwentsside in 7, and Nathan Campbell of Stirling Swim in lane 8. Brodie Gordon-Gibson starting very strongly in lane 5, turns 27.03, and that's the fastest we've seen so far. The 18-year-old Warrender swimmer, up by just over a second from lane 1, Maite Rosenfeld. Brodie, a member of the Scottish junior team, was bronze medalist in the Scottish summer meet. Maite, 17-year-old. So both the leading 2 are juniors here. And it's going to be Brodie at halfway. Also going well up in lane 8, Nathan Campbell, the 18-year-old from Stirling Swim, at 1:02.21, slightly faster than the previous heat. Brodie at the halfway mark, but again, let's see what happens in breaststroke. Maite certainly right there in the mix. Just out of your shot at the moment in lane 1. As we see lanes 3 and 5 pushing on. Now you can see Maite there at the bottom of your screen, right in the mix, and pushing on in lane 8, Nathan Campbell. Joseph Martin also made good progress in lane 3. He's right in the hunt now. So final 50, and still Brodie leads the way by half a second, 1:43.31. 4/10 now faster than the previous heat. So can he really push it on in this final 50? Maite Rosenfeld is fancying his chances. He's looking strong on freestyle. Can he nick this one in this last length? Well, we saw that in the previous heat from Ben McLaughlin coming through like a train. I think we might see the same here. It is Maite taking the win, 2:14.79. Good strong swim there. He was entered 2:15.15, so it takes about 4/10 off that. Brodie Gordon-Gibson in second, 2:14.85, and Joseph Martin third, 2:16.23. One more race to go in this afternoon's session. Heat number 5 of this 200 individual medley, and this is the lineup. No swimmer in lane 6. So 7 will go. James Bartley of Stirling University in 1. Thomas Maskell of Derwentsside in 2. Travis Davey, Dundee City Aquatics in 3. Louis Kurtz of Ober-Oster in lane 4. Abel Terriel of WVZ in lane 5. Finn Bremner of Warrender in 7. Gabriel Elmadib of Hervedstatens in lane 8. So looking at this one, the juniors, Thomas Maskell, Travis Davey, the others all seniors. There's Louis Kurtz taking the lead at the 50, 26.63, up by a second. They're off to a good strong start in lane 4 for the Austrian, 5th in the Austrian National Championships last year. And he's opened up a pretty healthy lead here as they come up to halfway from lane 2, Thomas Maskell. First time we've seen a swimmer go under the minute at the halfway point, 59.56. For Louis, Thomas 1:01.10, James Bartley in third, 1:01.74. So we've seen plenty of second half comebacks in this 200 IM, but I don't think Louis will be in the mood to let that happen here. the Austrian, looking to see this one through. And he is about 3 meters clear. The race is now on for second. Thomas Maskell and Travis Davey on 39.58 for Louis. Good turn from Thomas Maskell. Looks now as if he's got second for himself, but he's well behind Louis Kurtz. He's surely going to take this one. The question is, what's his time going to be? 2:10.41 he is entered on. What can he take that down to? I think he will improve on it. He takes it, 2:10.02. So he does take 4/10 off his entry time. 2:12.66 for Thomas Maskell in second place there. And Travis Daly, 2:14.01. He's going to be close to, well, maybe be a reserve for the juniors. We'll wait and see on that one. But certainly Travis will be knocking on the door there. So that's it. Session 2 is complete. You get a lovely view there of our swim down pool. And you see the diving boards, many strong diving competitions. There is your summary of what's coming up next. So our first night of finals will start at 5:30. We'll be on air at 5:25. So get yourself in the mood for that. It's going to be fast. It's going to be exciting. I can't wait. But in the meantime, from the Royal Commonwealth Pool, we'll wish you a very good afternoon.